Good evening, folks. How's it going? Look at this. We have a Yar and we have a whole Ola. Hello, Damien. Hello, Gorvidal. Welcome to, I don't know, it might be a short video. We'll see where this goes. Right off the bat, I'll say that tomorrow afternoon, we're having the Wandering Chat on my channel. Rasa, Damien, and myself, for sure, potentially a guest if that works out for the individual. But that'll be tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Our time. Gore. Hello, Chaos and Comics. Yeah, man. I mean, inflation is just kicking everybody's ass. So tonight I've got a stack of books. I went down to Thirsty's Flea Market to visit my friend Dan, who's got Mad Cat Comics. As always, a huge shout out. Yeah, no, absolutely, seriously. You're always welcome. Please let us know on Twitter. You're always welcome. He had a bunch of new bins in. So this weekend, there's a comic convention here in town, our big comic convention. I just cannot, for the life of me, afford to go to it as much as I want to. The big comic dealer from Montreal is in town, set up, taking up a huge chunk of floor space from when I was looking. But I just can't afford to go. So a couple of the places in town have been having sales. 204 Comics has a huge sale. But Dan at Mad Cat had a brand new long boxes and short boxes and a whole bunch of stuff. And when I went in to see him, he had set aside about a half of a short box that was like, you need to look through these. This is the same guy that I got all the kind of air cell and more adult and underground stuff from before, where I bought the entire box from him. So this is another one. I guess he's got a guy up north that he deals with, and whoever this guy is, I was telling Dan, keep grabbing from him because there's always some incredible stuff here. So I dug through the bins and grabbed a stack, and it came to about 62 cents a book with the deal, that 61 cents a book with the deal that he gave me, which was fantastic. Is there any near you, Chris? Have you been before? I mean, the ones these days, it's so much pop culture fest that there's all sorts of stuff going on. But the big one here, honestly, the dealers that they do get in, there's still a nice chunk of comics dealers, not nearly as much, obviously, as some of the smaller cons that we have here in town that are put on by the kind of local flea market guys. But so these two are out. These were the only two that I bought that were doubles. So I already have both of these. I picked them up. I just wasn't sure. And they made it into the stack, and I bought them before I remembered to check my CLZ app. So not too bad, considering how many books I got. I think I got 49 books total. So yeah, I absolutely hear that, Damien. I totally hear that. Ours also costs $20 to get in per person. 12 and under get in for free. But if I want to go, it's costing me $20 just to get in the door. But like I said, honestly, with that Montreal shop that sets up there, a lot of the times it's worth it. They have incredible stock. And I usually, in the past, I've mostly gone on Sundays when people are kind of blowing out their stock because they don't want to bring a ton home. So I usually get some pretty good deals there. But I totally hear that. So let's dig into it. First up, Post-Mortem, a Matt Howarth kind of square-bound collection here from Brave New Words. And this, I'm guessing this is kind of a best of, a sampler of, holy shit, are you serious, man? 35 to, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. I believe it's all from the Post Brothers stuff. There's Savage Henry in here as well. We also get the Residents make an appearance in here. This kind of does a breakdown on the back All this and a Bugtown checklist. So I've never seen this collection before. It's Matt Howarth. I do dig me some Matt Howarth these days. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm kind of at the spot now where whenever I see something by Howarth, I'm more than, it makes it into the pile without much of a second thought. I just don't come across a ton of it. It does look pretty great though. So that's Post Mortem by Matt Howarth. Let's see, what year are we looking at here? 1991 for this one. Spoke with some collectors today who went to San Antonio Comic-Con. There were only 3 vendors. The rest were toy dealers and many cosplayers. Yeah, we also have actors come. Actually, Bruce Campbell is at our con this year, which is kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of toy dealers. There's all sorts of kind of video game stuff. There's people that make weapons. There's a big t-shirt. There's a couple of big t-shirt booths actually that just sell shirts. So it's a real hodgepodge of stuff at ours as well. 2 books that are kind of local content that looked pretty interesting. This is Dan Red Eagle and his Search for Power. A real unique one here. This is 1989, published by Indian Life Books, based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and 2 Indigenous creators, story and art. Very, very interesting. The back here talks about if you're having troubles. I guess there was 2 publications out, Indian Life and The Grieving Indian, to help people who were struggling with all sorts of things: addiction, child abuse, illiteracy, racism, sexual immorality, AIDS, etc. So try these kind of handbooks, I guess, or the magazine, to kind of help deal with some of those things. The strange thing about this one is that his search for power leads him to the Holy Bible at the end. So I don't know. I feel like I need to do some more digging into exactly who put this out and exactly what's going on here. But like I said, local content is always going to catch my attention, and I'm always willing to give it a shot. This looks intriguing. I'm just very intrigued by this to know a little bit more about this one. So that's a Dan Red Eagle and his Search for Power. And then the other one that is not only local content, but content connected to our union, our IATSE union. This is New North. We'll look inside for a sec. One side in English and one side, I believe, in Inuit, which is kind of amazing. And then on top of that, where's the proper credits here? Burns, where's the proper? Yeah, there we go. There's some written and drawn by Nick Burns. So Nick Burns is a member of our local. He does storyboards. He's a storyboard artist. I've shown off his stuff before, actually. One of the things that I had up on my wall at the office, this is another comic that he did, Arctic Comics. I got a couple of those magnetic cases because I was hanging these on the wall in the office. So this is one of his other publications as well, too, that I've had for quite a while. So it's amazing to have this from him. Again, it's in conjunction with prepared by Employment and Immigration Canada in the Alberta Northwest Territories region in collaboration with the Department of Culture, Education and Employment Programs, Government of the Northwest Territories. Super intriguing. This is a bit of a different style than I've seen Nicholas Burns do in the past. I love that it's kind of this flip book. It's very kind of cartoony looking. I really like, and I love the coloring in it too. Very, very bold. So very intriguing stuff. And in the middle here, I'm guessing that both of these probably would have been free. So there's notes. So I don't know if this was part of a program that you went to, and then it got you some notes inside. So, and then here's Here's the Inuit side, I believe. Let's just look to make sure. Inuktitut translation by Michael Kasugak. Apologies for butchering names, but there you go. So yeah, amazing. It's really, really great stuff, and it's a super thick volume there. So that's a fantastic score as well. So the Stray Toasters that I didn't have were issues number 3 and 4. I now have, like, I've got this. This is an early graphic novel that I bought and I still have it. I think it's on the shelves upstairs as I'm looking at my shelves over here. I'm pretty sure I have it upstairs, but I've never owned the singles. I've had number 1 and 2 for quite a while. Great to find these other two just to fill that. I remember when I found Stray Toasters, that graphic novel, and it's just obviously mind-blowing, especially at the time that I would have discovered it. I was right in that world of wanting some odd comics, right into Vertigo, right into Shade the Changing Man, right into Ted McKeever. All of that stuff would have been the types of things I was reading at the time. So this will be great to read it again. I'd like to read it in this format, as opposed to the graphic novel. Read it maybe in chunks or whatever. So really looking forward to it. The different styles that happen through here, his mixing of kind of painting and then like collage work, and actually putting, doing like putting things on the art as well, actual physical objects, to kind of create this depth and these layers and these different textures. Things like this right here, for example. So really, really great. Bill Sienkiewicz and Milo Manara are two of my favorite living artists and masters. Yeah, absolutely. Feel like I'm missing some chat about comic book people. This jumped out at me because right on the cover, it says 1986. I think he does. Yeah, I think he does variant covers there, Damien. Absolutely. So this is something called Threshold of Reality. I think there was only 2 issues. Unbelievable cover. And then as an added bonus, we get up here, To Hell with Cute Little Animals. So the antithesis to all of the funny animal comics, I guess, that were coming out at the time. So one of the things, as much as I loved the cover, when I got it home and looked inside, artists this issue: Billy Arbizu, Cecilia, Rebecca, Mike Riot, cover by Billy Arbizu. So it's mostly text, with some illustrations as well along the side. So not quite what I was hoping based on that cover, but I don't know, man. We'll give it a shot. Search for Stephen King, Frolic Falls. So some prose with some art. Not as exciting as the cover, but 60 cents. Why the hell not? Threshold of Reality. He had a stack of Grendel from volume 2. So I got to fill in some huge gaps in this one. I've got a good chunk of this second volume now. I'm still missing a couple of the early issues to cut, so I'm kind of at a standstill of going forward and reading the series much farther than I've already gotten. I think I'm looking for number 4 or 5 or something like that. But now I've got another chunk, 16, kind of up to into the 20s. So we'll just kind of do a quick flip through the covers here. 20, some fantastic speaking of Sienkiewicz, so similar things going on here with different textures and actual screens and things on a canvas, it looks like. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to digging into this some more as well too. Look at this here, Matt Wagner. I haven't looked through these yet. Matt Wagner, penciled by Hannibal King, inked by Tim Sale. There you go. That's pretty fantastic. So look at this, man. That's great. That's good. Yeah, I'll have to take a closer look through these issues. 23, 24. Penciled by John K. Snyder, inked by Jay Geldhoff. And then 26. Yeah, no, the covers are great, Damien. They're really something. I think every single one in this volume is a double page, like fold out like this. Let's have a look here. John K. Snyder, Bob Pinaha, painted by Joe Matt. There you go. So yeah, there's a chunk of Grendel Volume 2. Very exciting. NCG, the New Comics Group. We've spoken about New Comics Group in the past many times. One of those kind of unsung 80s. Is this 80s or is this now creeping into 1989 on this one? So still into the 80s. This one seems like, so it's a Brian Boland cover, which is fantastic right off of the bat. But this one feels kind of like a Mad Magazine type of thing, even down to the lettering. This is issue number 3. Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito. And then cover, like I said, Brian Boland, New Comics Group. So this looks pretty great. It looks fantastic. This really just reminds me of old Mad Magazine. So some satire going on here. It's all in their mind, says Dr. Sigmund von Freud. Great lettering on the titles. Beautiful stuff. So that'll be a fun one, I'm sure. I was hoping to find one other issue of Empire Lanes. I've only got issue number 2 and 3 now. Another one, I'm just curious. I just don't see it around. So I'm looking forward to digging into this. This looks like a lot of fun. Now that I have 2 of the issues, I may give them a shot. Peter Gross, story pencils and inks. And then Eileen Kajiwara, backgrounds and inks on this one. And what do we got here? This is 1987 on Empire Lanes from Northern Lights Publishing. Can't believe I found it. One of the very few issues that I was missing. I now have a good chunk of this series. I can keep reading Mercedes. This is from Angus. I'd spoken about this before. Reading the first 2 issues, I really dug the first 2 issues. Very glad. This was the only issue he had in the bins, which was unfortunate because, like I said, a couple of the later issues I'm still missing. But I'm going to have to pull these out of the bins here and kind of keep digging into this. Those first 2 issues were pretty damn fun. So there you go. That's Mercedes. Writer Mike Friedland, artist Grant Fust, and letterer Mimi Cruz on this one. Kind of a mind-blowing. So this, I think pretty much the rest of this stuff came out of that bin that he had set aside for me. I'm now I'm damn close. I think I might need 5 issues or I think of Yummy Fur. He had a huge stack of Yummy Fur in there. Unbelievable. When I find these out in the wild, I usually find an issue or 2. They're pretty much beat to hell. They're usually around the $2 mark, $2 mark, which is still a steal as far as I'm concerned. But to find a nice big stack of Yummy Fur, really great. So I have issue number 1. Yeah, 60 cents a piece, Damien. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. Fucking Ted McKeever ad, inside front cover for Transit as well, too. So great. Yeah, I mean, this one would make sense that you wouldn't see them in the States. They probably don't make it. They probably don't make it down across the border too often. But the thing is, like I said, I don't even find these that much. It's one of those books that the people who have these issues aren't letting go of them. They're holding on to them. So I don't know who this guy is that he's got this connection with, but if he's got stuff like this, I want more. So again, we'll just kind of do a quick flip through the covers. So there's issue number 2 from Vortex. That's issue number 4. Still Vortex there. Love this cover here. I think that says issue 6. Return of Mr. X ads on the background. Issue number 7. Invasion of the Micromen. Issue number 8. Really, really great. These covers are just standout, even just on their own. Number 9, still from Vortex before it eventually changes to Drawn and Quarterly. Number 10 here, another great cover there. Love that. Oh, you see Yummy Fur there sometimes. You got Alex. Shit, yeah, man. I'll be curious to see what you think of it. Look at that. Look at those colors. This is issue number 12. I'm back. Ready, aim. Beautiful stuff. Number 14. Number, what is this? 16, it says there. Look at that. That's almost Shaky Kane-ish right there. Hey, like, can absolutely see shades of Shaky Kane in that. Number 18. And then number all the way up to 24. And then this last one is Drawn and Quarterly, right? Yeah, published by Drawn and Quarterly. This is 27. So a few, I think 5 or 6 issues left to go. And I've got the whole damn run in singles, which I can't fucking believe it. I'm very, very, very excited. There's a lot of things in here that I'm excited about, but that's absolutely one of them. What a Steal is right. Yeah, the color comic would be great. Absolutely. And yes, hello, Rick Ray, by the way. Hello. What a Steal indeed. Meaning superhero. Yeah, totally. Whenever I watch your videos, Terrence, I smile in part because I think of you whenever I hear YouTubers and people I know complain about the current state of comics, meaning superhero. Yeah. I mean, it's their loss that they're not digging any further. Yeah, just like you're saying now, that's just coming up in the chat. If only their curiosity extended beyond them. Yeah, 100%. And kind of dip your toes in. So Colin Upton, another Canadian, he's still around. There's a YouTube channel I watch every once in a while called, I think it's called The 5 Minute Hour. It's GX Jupiter Larson. He was part of this group, The Haters, which is kind of this noise performance art group. They do, I think it's a weekly video, and Colin still has a piece on there. He's worked with Robin Bougie from Cinema Sewer as well. So I don't know much about his comics. I've only got a couple of things. I think this might only be the 3rd comic that I have from him. I think there was 2 Big Thing. Oh yeah, and there it looks like that's probably GX right there. Yeah, there you go. That's The Haters right in here. Well, holy shit. First time I'm opening this. So there you go. So they did a lot of, I've got a videotape. GX Jupiter Larson. Let's back up a little bit. Pretty interesting guy. He used to sell these boxes on eBay where it was kind of a blind box, and the higher the price went, the more he would put in. It would be like records, CDs, art, all sorts of things, magazines, zines, comics, all of that type of stuff. I bought a box from him once many, many years ago, and there was some really great 7 inches and stuff in there. And in that box was a videotape, which was a collection, of Haters performances. That was a lot of fun to watch. I think I've digitized it now since then, but quite a group of guys. So this all of a sudden kind of jumped to the top of the reading pile, seeing him in there right away. So I guess Colin performed with them, I'm assuming. if he's got this relationship with him. So there you go. Big thing. Did I say what year this was? This is 1991 for this one. I think this was a 4-issue thing from Fantagraphics. I mean, honestly, it's not that it's mind-blowing noise necessarily. I feel like they would have been amazing to see live. I don't know if it's necessary, or like, when we're talking kind of the hierarchy of noise, I guess I wouldn't put them necessarily near the top. I would say for you, Chris, yeah, sure, give them a shot. I don't know if much of their stuff is really mind-blowing though, but I wouldn't stop you from trying them out, especially because it's you asking. Hello, Colin, loading the cannon. How the heck are you, man? Yeah, if only their curiosity extended beyond them into Eros. 100% right. You are correct in that. I read this one this afternoon. I'm a big fan of Charles Bukowski. I've always been a fan of Charles Bukowski. Even though I'm almost a 50-year-old man, I still get a kick out of Charles Bukowski. I get a kick out of writers who are writing from a very specific perspective. This was a fantastic book because of the art in it. Stand by. This is the creator, right? Let me just check the credits here. Yes. So a long time ago, we looked at Bell's theorem from Catalan Communications. So Schultheis is a German artist, and he did some stuff, in that kind of. This stuff is very much his own style. We'll look at this Bukowski comic here and see that his style is much. Well, I mean, Bukowski's specific perspective is, alcoholics and people that are, well outside of the. I don't even know what you'd call it. They're kind of down in the ditches. They're almost like people that Tom Waits would also sing about too. These sort of degenerates who are just drinking themselves into a fucking stupor. But this was a really, really great issue, actually, and I'm actually curious to see if he. Hello, Sarge. How the heck are you, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Alcohol, sex, writing poems. Don't forget women. Lots of women. So this one just talks about this guy who's kind of wandering, picking up odd jobs. He gets picked up on the side of the highway. Hey, do you want a job? Gets in. The guy says, you want to suck my dick? I'll give you $5. Beats the shit out of him and jumps out of the truck again. The guy does come back and says, no, I actually have some real work for you. But I mean, look at this art. This art is gorgeous. This is Schultheis channeling the Mobiuses of the world as well. So this is a really great. I really liked this story, actually. It was pretty damn good stuff. So I am curious if he did more. The meager amount of money that they make, they go and drink it away and spend it on prostitutes. And then it's off to the next town looking for another job. And then we get a ad for Paramus, which I guess I didn't realize that it was a 4-issue thing from Fantagraphics before they did the actual collection. What year are we looking at here with this one? 1991. So there you go. I've got one other issue of this. This is Comics by Lloyd Dangle, sort of a square bound, or square in size rather, compared to a comic there. Little wider, little shorter. A collection of his work. I don't know where else. This is from Cathead Comics. I don't know where else this stuff would have been published. I don't know if he was doing a one-man anthology or if this was a mix of those things. I've had that other issue of Dangle forever. I honestly don't think I've ever read it. Yeah, this is issue number 1. So I've got 2 of them now. I'll probably dig out that other one. His art looks very similar. I'm sure I've seen him in other anthologies. But yeah, so there you go, another issue of Dangle. In the 1990s, Bukowski first editions were sought after by collectors in Houston and Austin, including good friends of mine who paid big money for them. Oh, wow. I think D&Q published Dangle too. Okay, that makes sense. So maybe the other one that I have is a drawn and quarterly one then, Colin. Can't believe it. I finally have my hands. I read these ones today too, on 3 issues of Dirty Plot by Julie Doucet. I thought I had an issue or 2 in the bins. Turns out I don't. So this was great to find these. Something else, even though it's Montreal and it's drawn in quarterly, I never see them. I never see them out in the wild at all. I've had them kind of check marked on my comic shop page, on my wish list rather. This was a pretty good story. These were so much fun. This is an English lesson. She has a friend of hers who's going to teach her English, and all he wants is for her to take him drinking. And as she gets more and more drunk, her English gets better, his gets worse, until we get a nice little trick here of actually changing the text and changing the lettering until she's speaking kind of old English, it looks like, which is really, I thought that was pretty funny. Great stories. It's of that era for sure. This is what, 1991 for this one. One of the great ones for me, I thought it was, yeah, this one was just really, really clever. So when we're talking about these kind of slice of life stories that some of these artists were doing back then, and how sometimes it's really like, really every part of your life is that interesting, you got to write a fucking comic about it. This one really takes that to the next level and sort of mocks that entire thing, because she really doesn't do much of anything throughout the story, and I thought it was goddamn hysterical. She's mumbling throughout the whole thing, and then there's these moments like this here. I love this panel. This picture lasts 10 to 15 minutes as she's just staring off into space. I thought that was hilarious. It would have been great even to, just redo that panel a few times. But this is just her starting her day, going to the post office, drinking a bunch of coffee, getting pissed off because there was only one letter for her in her post office box. And at no time during this does she sit and draw comic. She tells her, she comes up with something comical about a spoon, but you never see her sit down to actually write a comic. And then she gets hammered, and then it's the end of the day. That was the best out of all 3 of these issues. Very, very funny stuff. The letters pages are always really good in these 2. So I picked up number 2, number 3, and issue number 4, where she comes face to face with a clean plot. Clean plot versus dirty plot. So there we go. A few of those. Holy shit, Sunshine. 60-cent 8-ball. I now have issues number 1 to 8. I've been missing this issue since these came out. I was picking up the early issues when they were coming out on the stands. This one I missed, and then a bunch of the later issues too. But this one for me has another part of like a velvet glove cast in iron. He had a bunch of other 8-ball issues, all of which I already had. And I kind of put them aside for him. And I'm like, man, you might want to kind of look into these ones and maybe charge a little more than 60 cents a book, even though there's a collection coming out. So this is great. I'm not sure how many issues like a velvet glove cast in iron lasted. I've never read the entire story of it. So this will be one that I want to pull out and start again, and try to read into this one. But this was a really fantastic score. I did leave the other 8-balls behind for somebody else to pick up, though. I didn't snag them all. So there you go. Colin, if you're still here, maybe you can tell me something about this. Laundryland from Fantagraphics, issue number 2 and number 3, I think. Yeah, issue number 2 and 3 by Forg and Jeans. No idea. These were the only 2 issues that there were. 1991 again. Fantagraphics is the reason why I picked them up. Had a quick flip through them. They don't look horrible, but I know absolutely nothing about these. You've seen it but never read it. Yeah, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Again, so cheap. Why the hell not? I feel like it's always it's an easy sell if it says Fantagraphics on it. It's probably always worth a shot. So there you go, 2 issues of that. I think this might have only been a 3 or 4 issue miniseries as well too. So another couple that I read this afternoon as well. Nocturnal Emissions by Fiona Smythe. These are gorgeous. At the beginning of this first issue here, Seth does a little write-up where he talks about Fiona and the times that he's known. Oh, not even listed on Lone Star. Okay. The times that he's known her, and her murals can be seen all over Toronto at this time. Again, 1991 seems to be the magical year for us with all this Fantagraphic stuff. These are beautiful, beautiful comics here. Really full in that kind of world of those 90s creators. So it really fits in the Fantagraphics mold for sure. This first story here is a continuing one throughout these 2 issues. You know, when in doubt, send someone on a psychedelic drug trip. And when that doesn't work, try to remember one of your dreams and write a story about that. And when that doesn't work, tell a story about what you did that day. So we're not getting kind of mind-blowing storytelling, but we are getting beautiful art here. So this 2-page spread, I think, is pretty phenomenal. So these were really, really great scores here. Only 2 naughty bits. He didn't have any more. There was only these 2, but these are early ones, number 3 and 4. So this is cool. Roberta Gregory's naughty bits I've talked about before a number of times. Number 1 I thought was hilarious, so I'm hoping that these ones kind of follow suit. Some of the later naughty bits that I read, they were still okay, but I didn't think they were as good as that first issue. So I'm hoping there's still that kind of first issue energy in these next 2. Yeah, and then not a bitchy bitch story, so kind of in line with some of her other stuff. I don't know, man. She just seems to be falling in my lap these days. Roberta Gregory stuff in town and on Lone Star as well too. So I don't know, man. It's pretty great. It's good news for me. Almost done here. 2 issues of Real Girl, issue number 2 and 3, the sex comic for all genders and orientations by cartoonists who are good in bed. Mary Fleener cover there on number 3. So who do we have? We got Reed Waller and Kate Worley, Mario Hernandez, Phoebe Glockner, Eddie Campbell, Leslie Sternberg, Robert Triptow, Trina Robbins, Gerard Jones and Marvin Mann, Joan Hilty, Garrett Gaston. Garrett Gaston, that was a name. Yeah, I've never seen these around, Colin. Not once. So I think it was this. Yeah, this guy here. Yeah, this is this Gaston. It's not a name that I know, but this kind of has that Mark Bayer feel to it. These are amazing. There's another piece by this Gaston in this next issue as well. Colin, is this a name that you know? Can you tell us anything about this comics artist, if they even did anything outside of this? I haven't, like I said, I haven't sat and kind of done a search yet at all. So oh, looks like is that an actual signature? Was that Gleckner? What was her first name? Phoebe Glockner. That's really nice looking. I'm sure you've mentioned Phoebe Glockner before, Colin. I'm pretty damn sure you did. Yeah, there's some Trina with her paper dolls that she seemed to do for ever and a day. Here we go. Here's some more. Gaston. Wow, I love this stuff. This is really, really great. Very, very cool. Maybe I'll check these out tonight. So there you go. I know I should have. I absolutely should have. But sometimes I feel like some of that stuff I want to leave for somebody else, even though in town it's probably only me that's buying the damn things anyway. Shadowland from Fantagraphics, Kim Deitch, issue number 2. I don't have any of these. I have nothing against Kim Deitch. I've just never been an enormous fan. And again, it's not that I don't like his art. I don't know what it is about his stuff. Maybe I just haven't been exposed to enough of it, because I mean, seeing this, it's beautiful art. So yeah, I'm excited to give this another chance. Like, look at these panels, are really, really nice. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky, man. And again, like, going to see this guy as I'm digging through the bins, he comes over to say hi, and we're kind of having a little chat. He's like, so I put aside half a short box for you. You should have a look at stuff that's a little more adult in nature. And he's, so when that stuff comes in again, it's good to be known in town as the weirdo that likes the dirty porn comics. Because all of these were also in there, which I wouldn't say is anything close to that. Like, there's no nudity in any of this stuff, but he had them in this box set aside for me. So Joe Sacco, Yahoo, one that I'm desperately trying to complete. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 issues of this. Very excited to see this. He had another issue as well too, but I already had it. So again, I left it behind. So this is issue number 5. Love, love, love Joe Sacco, even though I haven't read nearly as much as I should. But Yahoo is really good stuff, man. The couple of issues that I have already are great. I mean, look at this shit. His art is so fucking impressive. Just stunning. Everything just like walking off the page at you, man. Like, he's so good. So goddamn good. It's disgusting. That is the stack, my friends. That is it. I feel like we should do this. Colin, did you place your order at Wow Cool? Did you make sure that you made a note for that person on Twitter who was responding to us, so you get a copy of this thing? Chris, I don't know if you're still here as well too. You're short, bald, and ugly, Charlie Brown. Yeah, you did. Excellent. Good job. So I made an order to Wow Cool Comics, because they had 2 early issues of Crooked Teeth that I'm a huge fan of. And they also had the final issue of Jim Volume 2 that I needed, issue number 6, that completes that 6-issue run. I actually read all of those the other night too. So I ordered those, and they threw this in for free. And I open it up and I start reading, and it's someone has taken Charlie Brown strips and changed the dialogue in it. So very intrigued by that. It is goddamn hysterical. It's rude. It's disgusting. It's all kinds of fucked up, and possibly even sacrilegious. But it is so funny. Really, really funny. May I ask you a personal question? Do you ever fantasize about boning your sister? Just slipping her that old tube steak? You're nothing like your older brother, Sally. This is great. So I was wondering who the hell did it. So I posted it on Twitter, and I said, yeah, there's no credits in it, which didn't surprise me considering what it is. Just straight old swipes and changing the dialogue. And then someone from Wow Cool responded saying, as for the creators, it's pretty easy to find out who did this. I don't want to say, I'll let them reveal themselves. So I did some looking online, and it turns out that this is from back in 1993. Back in 1993, Joe Matt, Seth, and Chester Brown did this zine. They did this together. I think it was Joe Matt that was taking Xeroxes or copies of Peanuts and using them as paper to kind of rest his hand on as he was doing his art and inking. So he started using some whiteout and whited out a bunch of the dialogue and started altering some of the text. So him, Seth, and Chester Brown each did kind of a section of this. It's broken up to 3 sections. There's that first section that we saw already, which is kind of random strips that the dialogue has been changed. Then there's Billiards, which is kind of one piece. Donald Rex, how the heck are you, man? It's one kind of continuing story about this odd business that's happening at Linus and Lucy's house. Pretty sure that's original Schultz on A Day After We Read Bukowski. Yeah, probably. Stuff that's strange things that are going on in their house. And Charlie Brown eventually calls the cops and the kids are taken out of the house. And then there's this third section that reveals that Linus wants to have sex with Charlie Brown. And they eventually do. They eventually do get down. And yeah, calling him a cocksucker, calling him a fairy, all sorts of stuff as they're coming to terms with their sexuality. And then they do have sex. And it's very disappointing. Linus is really disappointed. And he realizes that it was a huge mistake. And Charlie Brown says, "Don't you still love me, sweet cheeks," right at the end. So this is a hell of a find. So, it says actually 1991 in there. I thought on the website that I found it said 93. But anyway, so I guess this was a limited thing that they did, and they didn't give any credits. So this is, amazing stuff. Goddamn hilarious. I appreciate them throwing that in. They didn't have to. I didn't know that this existed, or at least I don't remember knowing that this existed. I feel like this is something that Russ Works probably would have told us about at some point when we talked about Chester Brown, Joe Matt, etc. But I'm really, really glad. And if you don't know Wow Cool is a fantastic site. I haven't ordered from them in a long, long time. Early on in my channel days, I ordered from them a number of times because they carry a lot of like independent cartoonists. They deal into some mainstream and things like that too, but they've got a really good selection of self-published and indie creators books that they carry. So well worth your time checking it out. I think, yeah, you'll put it in order. There was a lot of interesting stuff on that WoW website. Yeah, absolutely. I'd encourage you all to check it out. And who knows, when you make your order, what this Wow Cool person said to us online there was make a note in your order, and potentially they'll throw one in for you. So if you do a Wow Cool order, give it a shot. Put a note in with your order and see if they'll send you a copy of your short, bald, and ugly Charlie Brown. I have a feeling it's something that they don't list on their website whatsoever. At least I think that's what Colin was saying. He couldn't find it. So there we go. That's it. Thank you very much, everybody. It was good to see you all. Tomorrow afternoon is the chat. It'll be on my channel. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And whatever time it is for you. Me, Rasa, and Damien. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.